Okay, so I've been pretty obsessed of late with a process that was pioneered by a fellow named Max Ogden from Portland. Uh, it's a process of taking geographic information in shapefile format and converting it into CouchDB. Uh, I was pretty excited to recently come across a collection of shapefiles for the City of Baltimore. They're all fairly recent. There aren't a ton of them, but there's several interesting ones like libraries and schools. And what I was able to do is, following the technique that was pioneered by Max, I was able to populate an instance of GeoCouch, which is a fork of CouchDB proper that I have running with a domain name of baltapi.com, just a simple EC2 instance running GeoCouch. Basically to sort of prove the point that when you take information that is in what some people can consider a harder to use format like a shapefile, and you make it easy for developers to use by putting it in something like CouchDB, which has a very nice, easy to use REST API and returns information. Basically, you query a CouchDB database by making HTTP requests, and the information is returned in JSON format. So pretty much it's game on for every developer. So what I wanted to do was sort of demonstrate how easy it is to build applications when you have data that's in a format that can be readily used by developers. And that's what I did. I went ahead and I wrote a Tropo application that I call Baltimore Locator. It's a simple PHP script that I'll make available on GitHub if anybody wants it, that you send an address in the city of Baltimore. And what it will do is it will build a approximately 1 mile bounding box around that address. And if you tell it what you're looking for, the kinds of locations that I have in this Balt API instance, it will respond to you with the locations that are inside that 1 mile bounding box around the address you sent it. So I wanted to demonstrate how you can do this with several different communication channels. It's one of the nice things about Tropo. So I tied a Jabber instant messaging account to this application called Baltimore API. Oops, no, I'm sorry. That's the Twitter client. We'll get to that in a second. It's called Balt API at tropo.im, and what I want to do is I want to send it an address. This is the address of a family member who used to live in the city of Baltimore. They live just outside it now. So if I send it just the address, it should tell me, hey, you got to tell me what you're looking for. Help me out here, Bob. And I'm going to tell it that I'm looking for libraries. So I give it this address and I tell it what I'm looking for. The application should respond with the location of libraries that are within a 1 square mile, roughly 1 square mile, of that address that I sent it in the city of Baltimore. This address is in the Canton neighborhood in Baltimore. And as you can see, I've gotten 3 hits, all within a mile. I've just taken the information that's in these shapefiles that I've populated CouchDB with, and I've just thrown the information back at the user, just the name and the address. And since I have coordinates for the library and or for the location that I'm looking for, and also for the address that I'm using, it's pretty easy to calculate distance. So I give the user the distance. I can very easily, include directions, do all sorts of really cool stuff. Now that I've got this basic information in a GeoCouch instance. So that's the IM portion of this. Let me see if I can get the Twitter portion to work, which I alluded to earlier. So I've got this Twitter account set up called Baltimore API. And what you should be able to do is send it a mention. I'll give it that same address, and I will use a different location type. This is a hashtag that just correlates to one of the location types that I've got in this GeoCouch instance. And let's send it and see what we get. Let's see if the Twitters are working today. So I should get a mention back from my application, one for each location that it finds within this 1 mile bounding box. Took a few minutes, but that's probably just because I've got my Twitter client here set up to look only periodically for mentions. But as you can see, these were the responses to my tweet to the Baltimore API Twitter account, and it sent me one mention for each location that it found. It found one on Eaton Street and one on Fate Avenue. Those are senior centers that I looked for. So I guess the point I want to make is that when municipalities release data, um, it behooves them to think about the format that they release it in, because if it's in an easy-to-use format, developers are going to take that opportunity and they're going to build interesting things that'll make that'll make life easier for residents in those municipalities.